What up, what up, what up, what up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? Just finished up an episode with Miss Finn's. She's a great lady. Make sure you check out her content. Definitely got big things going on over on her channel. Basically, we were talking about the state of this team, things that we feel need to happen for this Dolphins team to continue to grow. We might not be happy with the position this team is in right now. We might not be happy with the front office. We might not be happy with who our quarterback is, but we got what we got, and we gotta move forward. We can't continue to harp on something that isn't gonna change this season. I mean, you can if you want to. It's your right as a fan. You can choose to complain about the quarterback. You can choose to complain about the coaching. You can choose to complain about the GM and ownership. But I like to keep things positive. I like to look at what we can do as a franchise to be successful right now in the present. Right now in the present, because tomorrow's not guaranteed for none of us. And I know that I've suffered through a lot of bad teams, a lot of bad seasons, and I know that if we make the right choices this offseason, that we can be a competitive team next year. We can be a competitive team. Mike McDaniel's shown that Tua, Tyreek Hill, and the main pieces of this team can compete. We just got to put it all together, and it all starts with, first and foremost, it starts with Tua remaining healthy. Tua's got to be healthy, or this team is in trouble. We've seen it. We've seen what happens when Tua doesn't play. We struggle. This isn't the same team when Tua's hurt. So it all hinges. I mean, our success hinges on Tua. Today, I want to focus on, we got the 13th pick in the draft. We got a lot of holes to fill, folks. A lot of holes. Who do you now mock drafts? You'll get a million of them before draft season. Who do you like at the number 13 pick? Have you gone through and checked out any mock drafts? Do you stay up on your college football? I'm not a huge college football guy. But when draft season comes around, I like to go in and check out the videos on players. And the first and foremost, you gotta decide your team's area needs, what your team needs the most. Now, the Miami Dolphins, we got quite a few areas that we need to address in this draft. First and foremost is the offensive line. The offensive line has been a problem for this team for a long, long time. Teron Armstead, he's probably gonna call it a career. So we need someone at the left tackle. Last year we drafted Patrick Paul. I'm not sure that this guy is the answer for the left tackle position. He's young, he's raw, he's a physical specimen. He's huge. But is he the answer at left tackle? Can he step in this season and be a reliable piece of this offensive line? That's to be seen. And then we definitely need a left guard and a right guard. Liam Eichenberg and Robert Jones are not the answers. They're not suitable starters. I don't know if they're even suitable backups, honestly. We got Brewer at center, who performed well. I mean, he's an undersized center, but in this offensive scheme that Mike McDaniel runs, it's almost better to be a smaller, quicker center. Right tackle, we got Jackson. Hopefully he comes back healthy this year. Our run game really took a major step back when Jackson went on injured reserve. So we definitely got to address the offensive line in the draft. I think that Chris Grier is going to try to address one of those three positions at the very least in free agency. Another major hole on this team is safety. We need 2 starting safeties. Last year we had Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer as our starters. Neither one of them. Jordan Poyer was an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. He single-handedly cost us the game in Buffalo. And Javon Holland he's taken a step back the last 2 or 3 seasons. He came in this league and he looked like he was going to be an absolute steal for us, absolute stud, absolute star. And he just hasn't been that player the last few years. He's taken a step back. He's up for a contract. I believe you let him walk. He's gonna want top dollar. He's gonna want top dollar. And I don't believe Javon Holland's a $20 million a year player. You gotta let him walk. You got to. So that leaves us with two open safety spots. Defensive line. We need some more help at the defensive line. Calais Campbell is probably not coming back. Although if I was Chris Grier, I'd be on the phone begging him to come back. He was limited in how many snaps he got because of his age. But when he was in there, he was a difference maker. Calais Campbell was a difference maker for us. Not to mention the leadership he brings to this team. Calais Campbell comes in and does things the right way. And I would love for him to return, but I think that's a long shot. Calais Campbell, if he does decide to play another year, I think he's going to want to join someone that is more of a contender, a legit contender. And I don't think he sees the Miami Dolphins as a true contender. So, and then the backup quarterback position, we need to find us a backup quarterback. Now, you might be one of the people that feel that we need to straight up go number 13 and draft a quarterback first round. You might be one of the people that feel like we need to find Tua's replacement in this year's draft. Me, I don't. I mean, you got the top 2, Shador and Cameron Ward. After that, I feel like there's quite a fall off in talent. I mean, you got your Jackson Darts, you got your you got the kid from Texas. I mean, you got quarterbacks in this draft. I feel like after the top 2, it's a drastic fall off. I would rather address the draft in the future. I'd rather start building. You got to build with the trenches. That's the difference between us and the good teams in this league. The good teams in this league, if you really look at them, they're tough in the trenches. You got to be able to protect your quarterback. You got to be able to establish a running game. I mean, you've seen what the offensive line did. We had a top tier number 1 passing offense last year. Well, the teams were prepared for it this year. And the only way to help out our passing game was to be able to run the ball. And we weren't able to run the ball. We were absolutely horrible running the ball this year. Absolutely horrible. And we couldn't pass the ball because they were dropping their safeties, two deep safeties. They were keeping their linebackers back. The corners weren't having to play up tight. If we address this offensive line and we get some corners or so we fill the left guard position, the right guard position, and we can actually run the ball, that's going to open up the passing game. And we'll start seeing those 80-yard touchdowns again. We'll start seeing us be able to move the ball through the air. We won't have to rely on the screen game. We got to get this offensive line right. And if we can get this offensive line right and Tua can stay healthy, we have the potential to be a playoff team again. But it starts with Tua staying healthy, and it starts with getting this offensive line right. So I'd like to take a look at a couple of the prospects. We got the number 13 pick in the draft. I feel like we should go offensive line. The top 2 offensive linemen in this draft are Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks Jr. Will Campbell's LSU offensive tackle. Kelvin Banks Jr., he's an offensive tackle for the University of Texas. Both are phenomenal athletes. Both are freak players. Either one of them could be great for us. They could be great. And the only other person I would consider taking at the number 13 pick is Malachi Starks. He's a safety from Georgia. This kid is this kid's a freak. He covers like a corner. He's like a Ed Reed. He's a ball hawk. Phenomenal athlete, got great speed. But we'll check him out. I want to show you a couple videos and some highlights of some of these players. So let's check it out. Let's take a look at Will Campbell's highlights. Let's take a look at him.
Goes up over 1,000 yards on the season.
On first down all night.
Check him out. Look at him. Gets to that
game.
Second level. Takes 2 players out. Takes 2 players out.
Miss. And so before that
look
is
at
when
no
he started,
penetration.
and of course he had to buy
Dominates
in
his guy.
after it.
Well, the buy-in.
Will Campbell is such a big help. Just straight takes him right out the play. Finishes strong.
Second down.
Look at no penetration from his player at all.
For 2 and rush for 2 tonight.
Look at dominant. Push. Finishes all the way to the end zone.
Dayton Daniels speed, and let me just tell you,
Look
that
at
last
the
one,
hole he takes.
the look on my face is
no
pretty
penetration.
good night at the office when you have 3 wideouts
Just
all over 100 yards
Look at
receiving.
That. Seals the edge for the runner to get around
Williams,
the
running back. Thomas goes in motion. He'll get it. Dropped it.
Look at just dominating, taking his guys straight to the ground.
This time they handed you
Great dominant, pushing.
Eating up those offensive
Look at him. Look at him. Drives his player right back into the end zone.
Right-hand man for many years here.
This guy would be killer at guard or left tackle.
Empty look here as Diggs motion out at 2nd and 1.
If Armstead comes back, you put him right next to him at left guard. That'd be a dominant duo right there. Look at all the way in the end zone blast.
Williams goes straight from the start with the 11 a.m. local kickoff time. Williams against good run.
This is the type of player we need. A dog. A straight dog.
2-1. Let me see what this offense is capable
Seals
of.
The edge.
Jackson now shows what.
To have a ticket to New York City. Question
this
is,
guy
can
nowhere
he win
near
it
the
this
play.
year?
Just dominant.
LSU wide receiver standard he does on a daily basis.
You're
Placing
taking out
motion in
multiple
second and short.
players.
Caleb, you just look at him and say, is he Lamar Jackson? Is he somebody else?
His player had no chance of getting
5
in there.
on offense.
Clean pocket for his quarterback.
8 on first down. LSU averaging almost.
Just a clean pocket. Clean pockets.
Daniels against the 4-man rush
does the nice switch off there. Takes both block or pass rushers out.
Daniels calmly in the pocket and
clean pockets.
Daniels took a peek that way.
Look at him dominating.
4th down and 4.
Where are you going? Nowhere.
Across the middle.
Night. Pop pass. Aaron Anderson.
Run game seals his guy off. Look at the switch off. Great play there.
Front for the Hogs here. It's Diggs at tailback. He makes a cut. He may be wearing
Opens up the hole for the back.
It's fun to call plays when it's 2nd and 1. They run the play clock all the way down to 2.
He gets to the second level, hits the linebacker, so the running back can zoom through. Look at second level, takes out the linebacker.
Williams featured back tonight.
Look at opens up the hole right there so the running back can get in. Second level. See him get to the second level.
Two running backs were without Logan Diggs coming into the game. John Emery Jr.
Stands the DM right up.
Jackson gets a chance.
Look, it makes that hole, makes a huge hole for the back. Up there taking the linebacker out. He's got a mean streak to him. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, this kid's a beast. Like I think he's probably going to be he's probably going to be the number 1 offensive lineman taken in the draft. He's probably not going to be available when our pick comes, but you never know. You never know. You get these quarterback hungry teams that trade up into the first 10. You might get one of the top prospects to fall to you. You might. And I think he'd be a fantastic player to add to this offensive line. If Armstead retires, we got our left tackle. Maybe you move Patrick Paul to left guard. Maybe you move Patrick Paul to left guard. But I think Campbell would be a great pickup. Let's take a look at Kelvin Banks Jr. Now, this one's more of a possibility of falling to us. There's a better chance that Kelvin Banks Jr. falls to us in the draft. Let's take a look at his play.
Jaden Blue makes the first man slip.
Ewers pairs any better than he does. Ewers under pressure again.
Right out the play.
Brooks. Patient. And what a worthy. Can he turn it up?
Look at getting downfield, taking on blockers way down the field. Fantastic athlete for his size.
Jaden Blue.
Look at that big hole. Opens it up.
Jaden Blue is now the back. He's got it.
Gets to the second level, takes up the linebacker.
I have some fun there.
Kelvin Banks is 6'4", 320 pounds. Straight
Westlake
animal.
is the one who helped him out with that.
Look, he gets out in front on the screen.
Weisner.
Look at that. Dominates his guy into the end zone.
Keep it on the ground with Baxter.
Seals the edge, opens up the hole for the back.
Into the open field. Got to run Brooks here on 2nd and short. Knocked down.
Of the defense, said his coaches. Quinn Ewers to throw.
Look at that clean pocket for the quarterback.
2nd down, 19.
Look, he gets out in front of the running back, opens up that hole, smashes the guy. Sorry about the ad, folks.
Davis in motion.
Gets up there for a linebacker.
They pick up the first down. He put it on.
Takes him out.
Ewers steps up, has all day.
Deafening.
Taking out some of the best pass rushers in the country.
Blue, big hole.
Look at that hole.
1 yard line. Ewers on the move, throws it back.
Look, he gets out for the
And
screen, takes out the blockers.
3rd and 8 for Ewers. Got man covered.
On the tight end screen to Helm. Weisner straight ahead.
For a dance floor. Weisner.
What an upgrade these guys would be over Robert Jones.
And sacked once tonight. Maybe the lone play.
What an upgrade.
2nd and 14.
Opens up the hole,
Weisner.
seals the edge.
26-yard gain. Now Weisner cuts it back.
Player way out the page.
5 yards and a touchdown. And they'll hand it off.
Takes out 2 blockers there. 2 pass rushers there. Look at him out front. Boom.
Parrish. He lost it.
That was on an interception. Caused the fumble.
On 3rd and 13, Ewers just flips a back look here. It's Brooks.
Look at taking
behind
out
the block of
multiple
Robinson,
guys.
running to the left.
Still pushing, still fighting.
And
Dog.
it's a keeper.
Boom. Opens up the hole.
Lowers his shoulder. Makes a
Finishes the block.
Contenders in the country.
And up inside, boom.
Either one of those guys would be absolutely fantastic for us. Either one of them. We got to get this draft right, though. We got to get it right. Chris Greer's got to, his job depends on it. His job depends on it. He's got to get this job. He's got to get it right. He's got to get the draft right. One more guy I want to check out. If both of those top offensive linemen are out, I think we should really take a look at Malachi Starks. Now, I know we should be worried about the offensive line, but you got to get the best player available too. I don't want to reach on an offensive lineman. So either we get one of those two at 13, or hopefully Micaiah Starks falls to us. Watch this guy's ball skills. Watch his ball skills. He's absolutely fantastic.
I am.
Safety out of Georgia.
Plenty of time throwing his first deep ball for 7.
Look at that. Taking the ball away.
He's got great ball skills.
This kid, Micaiah Starks, is absolutely phenomenal. He's 6'1", 205 pounds. He runs the 40 in 4.35. He was voted the SEC's most reliable tackler. He's dominant in the run game. He's got elite closing speed.
And Todd, reminiscent of 2 weeks ago, thank you.
He's a great athlete, state champion, long jumper, and state champion sprinter.
Against Oregon 2 years ago.
Look at these ball skills.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Growing up, taking the ball away.
I mean, he played it just like a wide receiver, and yet he's in coverage. Eyes back to
so
the
he can be in the
inside
safety.
immediately.
He can play in the safety. He can play in the slot.
Times his jump perfectly and
Just phenomenal speed. Can keep up with any receiver in the league.
Thorne throws late.
Boom, take the ball away again.
Going the other way is Malachi Starks, and that
play clock down to 2 as Vandergrift got the snap. Quick pop through the hands of his receiver. Looked like a catch.
2nd and 4, keeper all the way. Stiff block.
Boom, makes the tackle.
At the 2.
Into the pocket. Walker's right there. He got it off for a first down.
Sure-handed tackler. Jumps the route.
Reception to Starks, who stepped in front of Terrence Ferguson, the intended receiver.
He'll straight eliminate tight ends.
Freshman Starks.
He can straight eliminate the other team's tight end.
Who's bigger and more physical, and he shows Simons is still in there. Freshman quarterback throws middle of the field. Nice catch by Cozio go upstairs. First down.
they cut block up front. That offensive front is going to dive.
Great closing speed to get in there and make the tackle.
That's what you'd like to see. Myers almost had it.
Jumps the route. Great job reading the quarterback's eyes.
Cedric Alexander will run it for the first time. And
coming out making the tackle in the run game.
Squabble up. Squabble up. God knows. I am reincarnated. I was stargazing.
Look at this. Look at the closing speed. Boom. Closing speed. Great closing speed.
On 3rd down, they pick up the blitz. Simons has got an open receiver, but that ball
Ball skills. Take the ball away. Give it to us.
As he gets this interception, his first of the year. Dogs have the football.
Goes up and high points it.
You nigga couldn't try me in the tri-state muddy pass, but I get him splashed till he hydrated. Bounce out, no he spook.
Coming out making the tackle in the run game.
7 times last week, and he's going to do it again here.
Coming out making the tackle in the backfield.
He's going to throw deep, and it is overthrown and nearly intercepted. The Georgia defensive back got a hand on it. It was Malachi.
Look at the jumping height right there. Great ball skills. He's the kind of safety you need. This guy can be a game changer for us in the secondary. Absolute game changer. If you can't get one of those three, I say you trade back. Now we'll look more in depth into some other players in this draft. If you can't get that safety, if you can't get Malachi Starks, I like Nick Emawari. He's a safety out of South Carolina. This kid's a beast. He's 6'4", 227, has a 4.38 40. Absolute monster. Absolute monster. But we definitely got to get this draft right. If we can get the draft right there, and Chris Greer can get us a little bit of cap room, this team can be competitive next year. So all hope isn't lost. All hope isn't lost for next year. Now I know a lot of us would like to see the complete rebuild. Let's cut Tua. Let's trade Jalen Ramsey. Let's trade Tyreek Hill. Let's get all the assets we can and start over. That's just not happening this year. It's not happening. But we can be competitive. We can go out and and compete for this division. We just need a lot of things to go the right way for us. It all starts with QB1. Can Tua stay healthy? We need to address the backup quarterback position just in case he can't. I would love for somehow to get our hands on Tyrod Taylor. If I could pick out one backup quarterback in the league, it'd be Tyrod Taylor. He's mobile. He throws a beautiful deep ball. He'd be absolutely phenomenal for us. Chris Greer is known for the splashy free agent move. I could see us making a move for what's his name, Trey Smith, Kansas City guard, who's an absolute animal, but he's going to want $20 million a year. If you get, let's say we get Trey Smith, say we get one of the top offensive linemen in the draft. Let's say Armstead comes back. The offensive line will be a million times better, which should open up the running game for us, which will open up the passing game for us. This offense can be a top 10 offense again. If Tua stays healthy, this team can be phenomenal on the offensive side of the ball. And then let's go best case scenario. Best case scenario. Tua stays healthy the whole year. We address the offensive line and have a top 15 offensive line. I think Achane runs for over 1,000 yards. They're going to feed Tyreek again. They're going to get back to what made us successful that year we were number one in passing. Defensive side of the ball, Weaver stays. Weaver doesn't get the job. We had the same defensive coordinator for more than a season. He builds on the work he did last year. Again, this is the best case scenario. What up, Raphael? Good morning. No problems, brother. I just reviewed some of the top prospects, top offensive linemen in the draft. Showed a little bit of video with them. It showed the top safety in the draft, Malachi Starks. Showed a little bit of his highlights. Make sure you check those out. Let me know what you think of those three players. Again, this is best case scenario. Weaver talks Calais Campbell into coming back for a year. We use if we go offensive guard, offensive lineman in the first round, we use that second round pick to draft Emma Worry, the safety from South Carolina. He fills one of the safety positions. We bring in a free agent safety. So now the safety positions are locked up. I like the additions that we made at the linebacker position last year. Hopefully, Jalen Phillips comes back healthy this year. Hopefully, Chop continues to progress and builds on his second half of his rookie season. Again, this is best case scenario. Hopefully we work out some kind of deal and Bradley Chubb comes back. So now we actually got a real pass rush. Now Weaver goes into the season with a real pass rush instead of two players coming off injury. One of them didn't even make it back, and a rookie. This year he comes into the defense with an actual pass rush. Can you imagine? We were a top 10 ranked defense last year with a mediocre pass rush. Can you imagine how good this defense can be with a legit pass rush? And then we bring in a new special teams coach. Hopefully he gets some of the problems we had on the special teams taken care of. I'm telling you, this team, again, best case scenario, this team can win 12 games. Best case scenario, Tua stays healthy. This team can win 12 games. Is that good enough for the number one spot in the AFC? Probably not. You probably got to get the 13 wins to get that number one spot. But 12 wins is good enough to get us a home playoff game, I think. 12 games could get us a chance at a division title. We can compete for a division title, folks. Now the Jets are feeling themselves. They got Aaron Glenn as their head coach. Good for you. The Jets are still the Jets. They're still got a magnitude of plot problems. The Patriots got Mike Vrabel. People are making a bigger deal out of Mike Vrabel than what he is. Was he a decent coach in Tennessee? Yeah. But let's not forget Mike Vrabel had Derrick Henry in his prime. Derrick Henry's a beast, and I just don't think Mike Vrabel is as good as coach as everybody wants to try to make him out to be. Does Jalen Wright get more involvement in offense? Mike McDaniel has favorite players. Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr. trade. Mike McDaniel's buddies from 49ers days like Craycraft. Yeah, I'm not sure if we bring Mostert back this year. I think we should, though. Jalen Wright did play good in little spurts. He didn't get a lot of opportunities this year. I'd like to see him get some more opportunities. But I really think, do I think Jalen Wright is on Mostert's level as far as a running back? I don't think he is. So I don't play Jalen Wright just to play him. I think if this offensive line gets right and Mostert can come back healthy, I'd prefer Mostert. I think Mostert can get back to, this guy had 20-some touchdowns a year ago. He was phenomenal a year ago. If we can get this offensive line fixed, I think Mostert and A-Chain can be deadly again. And you sprinkle in some Jalen Wright. You definitely let him get some opportunities. But I think you're going to get your wish anyway. I don't think Jeff Wilson or Mostert are back on this team next year. I just don't think they are. So, that leaves A-Chan and that leaves Jalen Wright as the top two backs. Mike McDaniel does have a history of his buddies getting opportunities over other people, but I think Jalen Wright's going to get a fair share of carries this year. I do. So I don't think you got to worry about that. Like I said, let's hope and pray Chris Grier does the right thing this year. Let's hope and pray that he hits on some draft picks. Let's hope and pray that he goes after the offensive line and really addresses it. He admitted that there's a problem. That's the first step in recovery, admitting there's a problem. He admitted there's a problem finally. But let's hope that he doesn't think that throwing a cup of water on a house fire is enough to fix the problem. Let's not hope that he brings in one player and, oh, I fixed the offensive line. No. We need multiple players. And I think this offense can be a top 10 offense with the offensive line fixed. I think this defense can be a top 10 defense. We get the safeties position handled. We get our pass rushers back. And if you got a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, you would think you'd be a top 10 team. But again, it all comes back to QB1. I hate to keep harping on it. I hate keep talking about it. But our whole season depends on Tua staying healthy. We got very little information about the hip injury, which is concerning. It was a shock the most that Tua even missed the games that he missed. Like I was mind blown when he didn't play. I was like, what hip injury? What's going on? Are you serious? Tua's not starting? And then not only did he miss one game, he missed 2 games. And then there was talk about if we made the playoffs, he might not have been back for the playoffs. So I have a lot of questions about that. Raphael says, do we re-sign Calais Campbell and Akba? I like both players, but Akba could be odd man out. As for Calais Campbell, he wants to chase a ring. Yeah, I would love to have Calais back, but you're right. I think Calais goes and makes a choice for himself. I think he thought coming to Miami that he could be one of the missing pieces. I think he thought that this Miami team was better than what it was going to be. And I don't think Calais is willing to waste his last years hoping and praying that Tua stays healthy. So I think Calais ends up going somewhere else. Akba did a lot of good things for us last year, so I'd like to see Akba back. I think Bradley Chubb ends up not taking the pay cut that we wanted to. I think we end up releasing Bradley Chubb. So I think Bradley Chubb's actually going to be the odd man out. So I think we end up bringing Akba back. As long as he doesn't want a crazy amount of money. I predicted the Tua benching in my fantasy league. Yeah, I mean, you bench him for who, though? Because even though they admit that they need to address the backup quarterback position, they're still not going to bring in somebody that's better than Tua. They're not going to find someone that's better than Tua. And again, Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer are on they're on their last leg. There is no next year to find a new quarterback for these two. They got to make it work with Tua. So I don't see them benching Tua just because I don't think there's a better option for him. Now, if they go out and get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, and obviously not the top 2, not Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, obviously, but if somehow they go and they take a Jackson Dart or Ewers from Texas or one of the other quarterbacks, then maybe they give him an opportunity, but I think they know, just like we know, Tua is the best. He gives us the best chance to win. Skyler, another draft pick, has gone to another team. Thank you, Gian. Yeah, I am so happy that Skylar Thompson is no longer here, no longer on the practice squad, no longer affiliated with this franchise whatsoever. My predictions was to shut down Tua due to a playoff run, resting Tua and figure out quarterback 2. You wanted to keep Skylar? Will Howard, is that another quarterback? I haven't checked him out if it is. Raphael, is Will Howard, where's he a quarterback at so I can check him out? I'm going to be going over the quarterbacks in the draft too and checking out a bunch of different possibilities. And do you make sure you, Raphael, make sure you check out the videos, the highlights that I showed of the players at the beginning, and let me know if that's something that you guys like. You guys like me to pull up top 5 players from each position and show a little bit of highlights of them to go along with a possible mock draft? Will Howard's the quarterback for the Buckeyes. All right, I'll check him out. Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna highlight. I only like Jackson Dart this year, but I'd rather have 6'3", 200-pound Darian Menshaw in 2026 as a freshman this year. He went and completed 65.9% of passes for 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. I will check out the intro when the show is over. Yeah, I just basically I grabbed the 2 top offensive linemen. I showed a little highlight package of each, and then the top safety in the draft, I showed a little highlight of him. I just want to know I'm just curious if people want to see those, if they want me to pull up more players, and we're gonna start hitting the mock drafts here. We'll hit mock drafts with trades. See if we can trade away some players, get some more draft capital, see what happens, what picks we can pick up if we trade back a little bit. So we're going to do a lot of things. We're going to play around with free agency, look at possible free agents and who we could add and how cheap it could be. We'll take a look at the salary cap, see what players we can release to open up some cap room. We'll definitely pick every little single thing apart and do everything we can we're going to do our due diligence when it comes to making this team as good as we can possibly make it for next year's season. He didn't have weapons at Tulane, but he transferred to Duke back in December. I saw his first game and it was solid. Reminds me of Jalen Daniels. Well, if you remind you of Jalen Daniels is going to be an absolute. I mean, if you think the Washington Commanders had a great year this year, wait till next year. Jane Daniels is, in my opinion, a spitting image of Lamar Jackson, except I think he throws the ball better. And if this kid transferred to Duke back in December, that means he's going to be under Bill Belichick, right? Bill Belichick went to Duke, right? Or no, Bill Belichick went to North Carolina, right? I want to see how Jalen Daniels does in his sophomore year. See, the scary thing about Jalen Daniels, Raphael, is that they got $88 million in cap space. They're in the NFC Championship game, and they got $88 million in cap space coming up. Imagine the talent they can put around this kid next year. You heard Bill still hasn't signed his contract with North Carolina yet. Man, I believe Bill wants to be in the NFL. I can't believe that he really wants to go deal with these kids in college. And he's so close. He's so close to Don Shula's record for most wins by a head coach in NFL history. I just can't believe he's going to stay. He wants to be in North Carolina and not the NFL. I think the North Carolina thing was all a ploy to get his son the job there, to make sure he set up his son. That's just my opinion. I think it was all just a thing so his son got a guaranteed gig, a guaranteed coaching opportunity. The Raiders still need a coach, right? Do you think Tom Brady dare bring in Bill Belichick? Yeah, money talks and bullshit walks. You're absolutely right about that, Raphael. You're absolutely right about that. There's not a lot of top name coaches left. If I was Tom Brady, I'd be calling Bill Belichick. Yeah, I don't know what Bill and Brady's relationship's like, but it's not like they got to work hand in hand with each other. They don't got to work hand in hand with each other because Tom's got the broadcasting gig going on. Let's ask this question, and I'm not trying to look too far into the future. If this year doesn't turn out the way we hope as Dolphin fans, who's the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins? Who would you like seeing brought in as the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins? I haven't really given it much thought. Who would you guys like to see as the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins? If this team doesn't succeed next year and Stephen Ross decides to wipe the slate clean, who do you see as the Miami Dolphins' next head coach? Do you want Cliff here, though? I'm not sure if I want Cliff here. I'm not sure if I want Cliff here. I think maybe you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers keep turning down offers for their coach, but eventually, if Pittsburgh doesn't move forward and I don't see Pittsburgh improving next year from what they are this year. Do they eventually move on from him? And would you like to see Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins? Would you like to see Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins? It's going to cost us to bring Mike Tomlin here. It's going to cost us draft picks. Does the NFL give John Gruden another opportunity to be a coach in this league? I know he had those emails come out and blah, blah, blah. Does anybody give John Gruden another opportunity? Yeah, Mike Tomlin's not leaving the Steelers this year. Not this year. I'm just saying, if the Pittsburgh Steelers fail to make the playoffs next year, or they just barely make the playoffs but don't win any games, eventually I feel like they're gonna make the move off Mike Tomlin. Yeah, if this season doesn't go well, I believe Tua's out of here anyway. I think Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, and Tua are all done at the same time. So I don't even think John Gruden works with Tua. I think they'd come in and draft a quarterback immediately. Or they would address what they'd go best player available in the draft and probably have a shitty season next year, the year after next, the 2026 season, and then they would draft a quarterback after that. I'd really like to see Andy Reid leave the Chiefs, become the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. But Andy Reid he's probably got a lifetime contract with the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. He's probably a god in Kansas City. I always thought that Jim Harbaugh would end up becoming the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I truly did. Just because of his ties with Stephen Ross and the University of Michigan. But who do you see if Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer fail this year? Who do they bring in? That is the question. There's a couple of other offensive line. I had showed videos of Will Campbell, offensive tackle at LSU. He's 6'6", 323 pounds. Calvin Banks Jr., he's offensive tackle out of Texas, 6'4", 320 pounds. You also got Josh Simmons. He's the offensive tackle for Ohio State. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. And Emory Jones, he's the LSU tackle guard. He's 6'6", 315 pounds. That's probably the top 5 linemen in this draft. We definitely need to address the offensive line. Those are the top 5 prospects. And then, like I said, Malachi Starks and Nick Emery, they're the 2 top safeties. We got to go either safety or offensive line the first 3 rounds of this draft. I say you take 2 guards, 2 tackles, 2 offensive linemen, and a safety. That's your top 3 picks. What order we take them in, it depends. I take the best one available. If the top 2 offensive linemen in the draft are gone, you take Malachi Starks with the number 13 pick. If Starks is gone and the 2 top offensive linemen are gone, I say you try the trade. You trade back a little bit. Try to pick up an extra 3rd round. Try to pick an extra 2nd round. But I think our top 3 picks in the draft need to be 2 offensive linemen and a safety, 100%. And then you try to make some cap room and you fill other holes. Tua or Herbert, Harbaugh made the right decision first year, and they made it to the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, I still don't think Herbert's available. He's more reliable than Tua. I still don't think Herbert's the better quarterback. I don't think Herbert throws the ball better than Tua. I don't think that he has anticipation like Tua. He's got the bigger arm for sure. He's more athletic for sure. And the biggest thing is that he's available. He's available. You ain't got to worry about him taking a hit and missing 8 games. You ain't got to worry about that with him. So yeah, Herbert's the right choice. But I don't think Herbert's necessarily the better quarterback. But we're gonna continue to break down the draft. If you got any videos you want, anything you want me to go over, or a video you'd like to see me make, let me know. Just hit it in the comments or message me. And we'll go over it. We're gonna continue to break down this team. We're gonna do a bunch of mock drafts. We're gonna do so many mock drafts, it's gonna put your head in a tailspin. But we're gonna continue to do them. Raphael was on Miss Finn's today. Go check that show out. It was a fun time this morning. We had a real good time. But we're gonna just continue to try to make this Miami Dolphins team the best team we can. We're gonna talk about everything and anything, and I appreciate y'all so much. I got a chiropractor appointment in 20 minutes, so I gotta get out of here. But I appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep getting the stuff coming every day at 10 a.m. I'm either gonna be live or have a video for you. So make sure you check it out. I told you once I got the studio up and going, it's still not done yet, but I told you content's gonna be coming. So keep an eye out. I appreciate you all. Raphael, thank you for stopping by, brother. Much love to you. I'll talk to you later. And as always, fins up till the end, baby. Let's go.